Welcome, everybody, to the U16 pod. I'm Ryan MacArthur.
And I'm Connor Williams. And on last week's episode of the U16 pod, we talked to a couple players from the HEO, Hockey Eastern Ontario, and a couple of Navin grads, U18 players in Ben Cormier and Nathan Villeneuve. Along with them, we also talked to Toronto Marlborough star forward Carter Lowe. So if you haven't checked that episode out yet, be sure to go check that one out because it was a phenomenal episode. Great conversations with all three. A lot of fun getting to talk to those guys. Tremendous players and tremendous people off the ice as well. So definitely go check that one out on the YouTube or whatever podcast platform you listen to your podcasts on there. So it's been a bit of a short time span since we last released the last episode. I believe it was Saturday until this episode now. So we're kind of this one's gonna be a bit shorter. We got our player interviews that we're gonna put out there for everyone, but this one's gonna be a bit shorter. We're not gonna have the usual kind of recap the week that was, given the short length and kind of the upcoming schedule that we got here with the Silver Stick so close, Ryan. So we're gonna keep it a bit short for today's episode, if that's all right with you, Ryan.
Fine with me. The Silver Stick is going to be a big one. Starts tomorrow, so that's going to be huge in Whitby. Iroquois Sports Park, here we come, right?
Oh gosh, hopefully they turn on the heaters there.
That chance of that, but we'll see. We'll be freezing our buns off, and yeah, it's cold. It's cold there. Like, that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, wouldn't have it any other way. It makes it all the more memorable. So we're excited for that. Definitely gonna have some teams that we haven't seen quite yet or quite enough of getting there. So we're excited to get some looks at some Alliance teams. Windsor, especially, coming from the Alliance, they're going to be there. So we're excited to check out Windsor, for example. Sudbury's coming down. Excited to take in some Sudbury nickel capital action. So definitely excited for that. We have a big episode planned post Silver Stick with a big recap, and we're going to have some big interviews for post Silver Stick there. So really looking forward to that. So, but before we get into the player interviews, Ryan, we're going to go through kind of some of the games we got the chance to attend. Starting with Friday night. I got the chance to go to Canland, my old favorite arena, Canland, Etobicoke, the place where people park on the grass and parking so small and the rink's freezing. But Canland, Etobicoke, got the chance to take in some Toronto Marlborough and Don Mills Flyers action. Tremendous game. Marlborough's was really close at first, kind of just back and forth action. Marlborough's really pulled away as the game progressed. Final score of 8-2. Few players here. I mean, first off, Sam Dickinson. My goodness, this guy. Every time I see him, he just gets better and better on defense. There, he's just not only is he just reliable defensively, but when you look at him off the ice, like when he's walking past me to get on the ice, he's 6'2", almost 200 pounds. He's listed on the roster card as 195. I mean, he's just a massive dude as well. Like, imagine going up against this guy in the corner. He doesn't make life easy, and he uses his strength in his body so effectively just to muscle guys off the puck. And when he's got the puck on his stick, he's poised, he's patient, moving the puck up ice efficiently. They had him in that game. They had a couple call-ups from the 07 Marlies. One forward Martin, number 19 Martin, and defenseman number 27 Dragusika. I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, but they had Dickinson playing with the call-up on defense there. So Dickinson really was reliable defensively in that game, really getting the puck off ice. He's not afraid as well. He's reliable defensively, but he's really got that two-way game as well, and displaying it against Don Mills as well. Also from the Marlies, I'd also put out there Justin Papineau, also looking terrific. A couple goals in the game, really setting up his teammates, creating chances, moving in open space, kind of finding the small areas where he can use his skill to either put the puck in the net or find his players or receive the puck as well. Beckett Seneke was really working in tight space. He drove the net on a goal, which caused all kinds of havoc. And obviously, you know what happens when all hell breaks loose in front of the net there. Anything can happen. So he was driving the net. He was using his body to really get low and leverage guys. He was also showing his patience with the puck, using his skill to really kind of work in small areas as well. Three guys there, especially. Jay Feldberg also had a hat trick as well in the game. Number 21 for them. Had a great game. Leo Serlin at 4 points. And once the Marbles got rolling, they really got going. And it kind of that game as a whole was terrific. I mean, the Don Mills Flyers also had solid players, a couple players. Number 14, Burnham looked really good for Don Mills, I thought, as well as number 95, Tyler Moore had a really nice breakaway goal. He was kind of putting himself in good spots where he could pick up a loose puck, helping out down low, or really bursting on the offense when he got an offensive opportunity. But really, the Marlboros were rolling that game, and from what I heard from you, because you got the chance to watch the big JRC Marlies game, it really transitioned into Sunday's JRC Marlies game, Ryan.
Yeah, no, big, huge win for the Marlies, 5-3 over the JRC. So I think there's no one undefeated anymore, right?
No more undefeated teams. No more
Yeah,
undefeated.
so yeah, like that three-headed monster of Marlies, JRC, and the Sens. Wow, it's just unbelievable watching any of those teams. And Marlies are really playing great, like especially with this big win over the JRC. I'm going to pick up right where you left off and start with Sam Dickinson. To me, he was the best player in the entire game. He's honestly pushing up in like in my head, like, you know how we have that kind of group that it's a big group right now that we've got for that first overall contention kind of spot. Like he's working in there. Like he's about as good as it gets in this draft, right?
He's got to be one of the top. Like I don't think you can argue against him being one of the top defensemen. You got Henry Muse, who I've kind of got is kind of a top D right now, but he's right there too. And it's like you can't not say it because he's just playing so well and he's such a tremendous defenseman.
Well, he's complete all around. He does everything well. Like you mentioned, I mean, pushing the puck up ice, carrying the puck up. Like on the breakout, he doesn't even need to pass. He can just carry it right out of the zone and I don't know, get the red line, shoot it in, or just skate it in himself. Powerful shots from the point. Just always able to kind of keep the puck in on that offensive blue line, just inside the line. So they rip it around. He'll, I don't know, stop it against the boards. He'll jump up and grab it, put it down, whatever it might be. Like he's just a menace out there and really, really tough to play against. Like extremely physical, throws a lot of hits, makes life difficult. Really tough below the dots in his own zone. Wins pucks. Very like formidable. Very, very intimidating, I'd say, as a player. So
great word, perfect word there, Ryan.
Powerful skater. Like the power in his legs and the stride generation, like that power he's able to generate from his stride, it's really noticeable. And he's a really, really strong player. Like I really like him a lot. He's definitely like in that first round mix and like creeping up to the top. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. Like we still got a long ways to go, but he's a top player. In the game, Justin Botno had a good game, number 11, the center. He's really crafty, really nifty, quick center. He's sort of average size, maybe slightly undersized, but man, no one can touch him. And like, he moves the puck well, and he's always creating, always buzzing in the offensive zone, and just a great player, like overall in all three zones. I would say he's solid. Another one, Beckett Seneke had a great game, 45, the left winger. Like we've talked a lot about him, really, really highly skilled, great player, really, really fun to watch. The player I thought was like the second best in the entire game after Dickinson was Carter Lowe, and we had him on last week for the in the podcast, and wow, he didn't disappoint. Like he was unbelievable out there. He got a gorgeous assist on the it was kind of like the insurance marker that put them up 5-3. It was like 5 minutes left, put them up 5-3. That was a big goal, like because at that point in the game, you got 5 minutes, you got the high-powered JRC offense coming in on you. To get that insurance goal, I found that was a big goal, and he made a nice play there. Like the pass came over to him, and the goalie got over super quick. And he made the smart decision to just throw it right back, and they got the empty netter there. And I believe that was that Botno that got that one?
I think it was Seneke actually.
Oh, Seneke, right?
I believe we actually ended up putting that on the Insta with your amazing videographer work. Kudos there if anyone's looking for a videographer. Ryan Ryan's a heck of a videographer. I think Matthew Little took a great check in the neutral zone there, and Seneke picked it up and little give and go
Oh,
there.
right.
It was a great
Yeah.
play overall. The poise it took from Loda, kind of not.
Yeah.
A lot of guys might just like shoot it right off the bat
Shoot
as
it.
soon as it hits
Yeah.
their stick, but like
Yeah.
you mentioned, the poise it took to send it back and leave Seneke with the wide open net to finish on. It's huge.
Yeah. I thought it was a great play. I thought it was really awesome to watch. And so, yeah, Carter Lowe and Sam Dickinson, I think, were like the huge standouts in the game. I mean, over to the JRC side, like, how can you not love watching Henry Muse? Unbelievable player to watch. I think he's excellent and definitely in the mix for like the top player in the draft. Um, so dynamic, right? Like he skates so well and um, he does a lot. He does a lot for the JRC, like in defensively, offensively. Um, like yeah, he had some good chances, and Marco Bilic from the Marlies had a good game. He made some nice stops on Muse. Muse was coming in and snuck in and got some passes, and Bilic got the shoulder on it, made himself big in the net, and made some good stops. So yeah, I got to give him credit on that dub there for the Marlies. Um, but yeah, just going through the JRC, like Michael Hage, like how fun is it to watch him? He's so skilled. Stuff wasn't quite going his way in this game, but yeah, like he was just like a bounce here or there from getting a couple goals, right? Like it's a game of inches sometimes, and he looked great out there. Um, and the big line I wanted to bring up, Antonino Tersini, Porter Martone, and Jack Van Volsen had a great game. I think they got a few points each. They were involved in all three JRC goals. Like Porter Martone, man, I really like him a lot. He's really powerful, really good on the forecheck, tough player, finishes well, great shot, good passer. Like Jack Van Volsen, really, really fast, zipping around all the time. He's always kind of got the puck and makes smart decisions with it. And Tersini played great as well. Like he got a couple goals in the game and an assist, I believe.
Yep.
He was great, finishing well. But that line overall, like they really, really stood out. And they were a handful. Like when they were out there, they're hemming the Marlies in into their own zone, and they're really, really tough. So just kind of going through the roster here. I don't like I could go on and on about all these teams because I like basically all the players in the roster here, but in that particular game, those are the ones that stood out.
No, it's great coverage there. I mean, it was a massive game. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny kind of how the top of the G's working here, Ryan. I mean, you got the Sens beat the Marlies a couple weekends ago now, 3-1. And then the Sunday after the Sens played, they played the JRC, where the JRC beat them. It was 6-2 was that final score with a couple empty netters. And then now the JRC play the Marlies, and the Marlies top the JRC 5-3. It's funny how that works, where they're all kind of interconnected, and any top team, any team can beat any team on any day. Goalie has a great game. I mean, you mentioned Marco Bilic there having a phenomenal game.
Yeah, he was great.
And then from what I've heard talking to people who were there, Paulo Frask had a tremendous game for the JRC when they played against the Sens. So it's just any team can beat any team on any day. And I mean, that's one of the things everyone loves about the G, especially U16 AAA. It's there's no, you know, there's no easy game. You know, it's kind of cliche where you talk about it's there's no easy game where you hear players talk about, oh, there's no easy team in this league. Well, I mean, you can't help but say it's true with that regard. I mean, all three of them just
Yeah.
each of them beating each other, Ryan.
And even like, I mean, jumping into the next game that you and I both had a chance to be at, the Sens ended up winning that one over Don Mills. This was just last night. They ended up winning it 5-0, but it was 0-0 for the longest time, right? It was a pretty solid back and forth game for a while.
Oh, it was, and really tightly game. Don Mills really played a really tight game defensively. They weren't giving up much. You could tell they had a little fire under them because they were playing a former teammate, I think, there.
Oh, yeah.
And Riley Patterson, who, gosh, we'll get into him in a second because, my gosh, he looked really good that game. But Don Mills was really good. And I know there's a player, especially on Don Mills, you wanted to talk about on defense there, so I'll let you get into him.
Yeah, no, I really like a player, right defenseman, number 16, Aiden Renault. He's a guy, he's a stay-at-home D, really, really solid. It The more I watched Don Mills, the more I like this player. He's got a really, really good stick. He was getting his stick and into the passing lanes and breaking up plays and constantly just breaking up plays and then turning them the other way, sending his forwards off with nice stretch passes and breakout passes. And he plays the game hard, and he was playing those sends like really, really hard. Like I thought he was really strong in the game. I like his shot from the point. He's got a powerful shot. There's a lot to like there. I think Aiden Renault is a really, really legit player on Don Mills there. I see him as I mean, yeah, like on that Don Mills team, like I'm starting to see him as kind of the top dog on that Don Mills Flyers team.
Yeah, it's definitely so overall the team as a whole. After seeing them Friday night, they definitely improved their game as a whole in that
Yeah,
game against the Sens. Just overall defensively, just I mean, you talked about Renault. Just for me, one of the things that stood out, you mentioned it there, just his stick work. He was breaking up plays off the rush. They're the Sens players, the skill they have. He was breaking that up with the stick, just an active stick constantly. So he was definitely a standout on Don Mills in that game. And then I mean, you look at the Sens here. I'm going to start on goal because Evan Mallet
oh
in
yeah,
goal for the
like
Sens just had
great.
a big shutout with the 5-0, and he had to make some big time saves in that game. There
Yeah,
was a couple plays where guy got open alone in front and tried to make a move, and he made a big save. I know there was one play we were watching, and the guy put a backhand, and it looked like he was going to slide 5-hole, but it never went in. And we looked at each other and went, "How did that not go in?" And it was he had a big time game for the Sens, and he'll definitely be a big impact goalie for them as they approach the silver stick there. But I mean, jumping into their players now, we'll continue as a position here on defense. A former guest on the pod here had a tremendous game. I mean, Braden Turley, Ryan,
yeah.
just the mobility he has. He had a goal in the game. You got that on video. We're gonna put that up soon. Um, just an incredible game. I think for me, he showcased a lot of his two-way game and a lot more of his offensive game in that game, where he's normally what I've noticed is his great mobility down low in the D zone. But that game, he was really showcasing he's not afraid to jump up on the offense, not afraid to work the offensive line, and really use his skating to quarterback and kind of open up passing and shooting lanes there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Turley, wow, like he's just so powerful. Great skater. Like he moves extremely well. Never out of position. He's always able to get to where he needs to be. And that shot on that goal, like you could barely see the puck. He just ripped it. Um, Unbelievable shot. Like he puts a lot on it, man. A lot of mustard on that puck, and I'm not sure the goalie even saw it. Like it just basically zipped right by him and in the net. So yeah, Turley, like, oof. And he was throwing some hits and just like everything's just hard with him. Like he's got a heavy lean on his stick. He's strong, really, really great, like firm, crisp passes, and he plays the game hard. He's a tough one to play against, that's for sure. Like I mean, even I noticed the guys, the wingers on the blue line when they get the puck there. He was doing a good job kind of putting that pressure in and they weren't able to make the breakout because he put that pressure on the winger and just keep the puck in their zone and like forget about that breakout, right? Like he was just shutting them down like all over the ice. So
No
really good
easy zone
player.
exits. No easy zone exits, eh?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, in addition to him, kind of some of the forwards, especially here. I mean, actually, another D I kind of like, who I've liked as I've watched this year going is Lucas Rodriguez, number 97, really big, the probably the biggest D on their team. I think probably one of the biggest players I'd imagine as well. He's got a long reach, uses it well. He's physical, kind of get really hard down low, battles hard. But he's also really reliable defensively, kind of with his good stick, picks up the puck and then moves it up efficiently. But he's really good on. I noticed they like to use him on the PK as well. He's a really reliable player. So defensively speaking, he's really good, and he's got a heck of a shot, just a cannon for a
Yeah.
slapper there. So Lucas Rodriguez is another player in defense there who I liked in that game, and I've liked progressively as the season has gone on here. So we'll get in the forward group here. Um, We'll start off with probably one of the top players in the entire draft here. Malcolm Spence was flying, Ryan. My goodness, he had a goal. I think he had did he have multiple goals? I know he had at least one, if my memory serves me correct. Um, but my goodness, he was flying, Ryan.
Yeah, I put the clips together. I'm pretty sure you got two goals. Like, yeah, he's unbelievable. Like, I don't think that there's been a game I've been to with Malcolm Spence where he got less than 2 goals. So, I mean, I don't know. Does he get 2 goals like every game? Because it feels like he
Even
does.
even when he doesn't get like on the score sheet, like I went to the game where they played who was it? North York. He didn't I don't think he got in the score sheet, but he was impactful defensively too, displaying the two-way game. So I mean, jumping here, he was just like he picking that puck up and just using the speed, attacking. He was on the offense the entire game, using his skating and his edges effectively, and gets himself in the open space. I mean, we saw the shot again. I mean, he had a really great one-time round and assist from Patterson too. Gosh, like what can you say about this kid? Like he's just incredible.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. Like, um, just the speed too. Like, I mean, when he breaks out, like odd man rushes, he's so dangerous on odd man rushes. Like, I love the way he plays them too. Like he's got his head up.
Yeah,
Um, he like his feet are so good that like if the D decides to like bite on him and try to catch him, like he can just do a quick movement with his feet and maybe his like hands as well, right? Like it kind of all goes together and then make that pass to the open guy.
yeah.
He's able to adjust on the fly, like really, really fast. And everything he does is quick. And like he thinks the game well and great hands, great feet, speed, excellent skater. Like, and then, yeah, like he can shoot, he can pass, he can do it all. He's a gun, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, in addition to him, kind of I guess his line mate in the game, Riley Patterson, also looked outstanding. I put out a tweet after the game, and he, every time I've seen him, he keeps getting better and better. He keeps looking like he's going, wow, wow. And he just watching him, like there was one play where he really showed off his skating and his just the speed, where he just wound up, and it was like, holy geez, don't give this kid that much space, otherwise you're in trouble. But I know he's a player you really liked even before I got the chance to see him. And
Yeah.
gosh, you were 100% correct on him being incredible, Ryan.
Yeah, no, he's really good. And the thing about Patterson is like I feel like he's starting to get comfortable with his Mississauga Sens teammates.
Yeah.
He came over from the Don Mills Flyers. I saw him in the summer. He was playing with mostly like Don Mills guys, and man, he was looking good. Like that game in the summer, I saw he got 3 goals at least. And at draft day, I liked him a lot. He looked great at draft day, and then coming over this season to the Mississauga Sens, like the first game I saw him with the Sens was an exhibition game against North York. I found he didn't look super comfortable, but that was probably like his first game with his new team, right?
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, I was like, oh, like he's not like the typical Riley Patterson I'm used to seeing, but ever since that game, he's gotten better and better every time I've seen him. And that last game, he was unbelievable as well. So definitely a player to look out for the draft.
He can just he just beats both with skill. He can play the skill game, and with the shot he has too, he's got that incredible shot. But he can also play the physical game too, where he just
Oh yeah,
laying the body. So just a dangerous player. He's already probably up on a lot of draft boards as well. I know he's pretty high on both of ours, even
yeah,
though it's early in the season here. So he's definitely a player we're looking forward to checking out at the Silver Stick.
yeah, and
Other teams beware.
he's a big player too. Like I just looking up his measurements here, 6'1", 175, and yeah, he's like that 175. Like I don't know if there's too much body fat on that. Like he's pretty much like a ball of muscle. At 175 is solid, and at 6'1", like that's the size that's a good size for a forward, right? He's going to be sought after for the draft.
Absolutely. And then another couple players here who I thought had impactful games. I mean, we kind of mentioned these guys a lot, but you can't help it. But the 207s again, I mean, first off, I'll start with William Moore because I mean he had a goal in the game, but he's got the mix of skill. He had the 2-8 game. They stick him out on the PK. And the 207s just William Moore was phenomenal, and then Michael Mista was showing off that he's got the skill, but heck, if he wants to, he's gonna put you down on the ice just as quick as he can dangle you too. Because he got a penalty for I guess they called it interference, but you and I were like, I don't know about interference there, but I mean he was laying guys out in that game. The 207s, William Moore, Michael Mista, phenomenal. I mean, just I don't know whether they're staying with the 06s beyond this year or whether they're what's going to happen next year. But good help, God help whoever has to play these guys in the future because those guys are dangerous and they were doing their thing again, just absolutely dangerous to get on the Sens there, Ryan.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like those guys are really really fun to watch, and yeah, like top 07s, like the this 2007 born age group is amazing. Like I'm really excited to kind of, I mean, we'll take care of this draft first, but going into next year, it's going to be fun. Like I forgot to bring it up. When I watched the Marlies game on the weekend, I saw Mateus Stark. He actually got in the game for the Marlies, the U16 team, in the win there, and I think he's the best player probably on that 07 Marlies U15 team. That's basically they're tearing it up. They're like basically the number one team in Ontario in U15 right now.
Canada.
In Canada, and Stark is like the top guy on that team, and he looked great with the U16 Marlies. So we got a treat coming with 07s. Like 07 is, I mean, I think 06 is a great age group, but 07 could be the best that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's. I mean, speaking of 07s, you provide a great segue for me to get into the other game I got to watch Monday night before I hopped to the Sens there in the Markham Majors Toronto Titans game. Before I get in the 06s, there was a couple of call ups in the Markham Majors for the Markham Majors, and one in particular, number 18, Carter Kostish. Apologize if I pronounced it incorrectly. My buddy pointed him out to me in the game because he pointed the couple call ups because he was at the game as well. And my goodness, this kid is filled with skill. A smaller guy, and obviously compared to a lot of the 06s, he's still like physically maturing and all that too. But my goodness, he has got skill for days. I mean, first goal of the game, he sets up Alex Kostov, who had a hat trick in the game. We'll get into it in a bit, but he picks it up from about kind of the neutral zone face-off dot around their own blue line, kind of near the away bench at Scotia Pond Rink 1 for anyone who's familiar with that rink. Kind of curls up, has his head up, spots Kostov kind of around the far blue line curling in, and just nails a perfect pass through like sticks, players, just nails it right on the tape in stride, and Kostov goes in and just beauty backhand roof finish. And it was just I looked at my friend, I was like, whoa, what a pass. So Carter Kostish is definitely a player I'm excited to talk about or look forward to seeing as well among the 07 group as you talk about those 07s being incredible. So he was awesome playing for up with the Markham Majors there in that game. But as for the 06s themselves, I mean, it was a fairly one-sided affair there between the Titans and Majors. Majors, I hopped out in the second there because I believe it was about 7-1. It was 7-1 at the intermission there at Scotia Pond. So I popped out, but first two periods, my goodness. Liam Greentree for Markham. What a player, Ryan. Just the energy he brings on the ice, first of all. He's got the kind of energy you see from a lot of players at this age group who's got the excitement. You can see the passion he has for the game as well. Just the ability from him in the game, really working in small areas, working with sticks around him to manipulate the puck, maintain possession with the quick hands he has, and work himself into open space. And then when he's in the offensive zone with that open space, he has a wicked shot. Like we talk about firecracker releases, that puck is off his stick like that, and it's just like a quick snap, and it's like whoa. When you got a couple goals that I saw off that, it's just lethal kind of a shot there, and he's not afraid to work down low there as well. So just the finishing ability he has, and he was everywhere in that game as well. I mentioned Alex Kostov earlier, who got that tremendous pass. He had a hat trick. Really physical player, works down low. He's the guy you look to when you're kind of down low, working the cycle in the offensive zone. And it's just a menace down low with the physicality he brings and kind of battle and compete he has down low, but he's also gets to the front of the net, makes life difficult for anyone trying to keep him away from the front of the net. All of his goals and all the hat trick goals came right around the crease. The breakaway goal, obviously with the backhand roof, but the other two came right around the crease and just showing that fearlessness to be around the front of the net there. A bunch of other players. Carson Hall was another player, really reliable, kind of plays any situation, poised with the puck, patient, was able to find his teammates as well, calm in the offensive zone. Another player here, number 55, Ryan Tizard, really physical this game. Just laying the boom on a lot of guys, just making life terrible for players. Put some guys on their butts on the ice a bunch of times, just laying the body. I felt pain just watching that. Jack Dean as well. He's got a heavy shot, or quick shot rather. He's a heavy body rather, with the way he's able to kind of protect the puck, use his body to work down low, but also showing off his shot that a lot of people probably know about. Just tremendous there. Gia Colon as well, the captain. He was kind of creating a lot that game, doing his thing. Just tremendous overall from the Markham Majors. Before I get into one last player from the Markham Majors, I'm going to skip him for a bit because we have him as a guest on the pod in a bit. We're going to play his interview soon. But a couple of Titans players I did want to mention. Actually, one in particular here. Number 77, Patel, forward/center here. Kind of a smaller guy, but really thick. He's really not afraid to use his body, be physical. He gets down low, battles hard in the corners, gets himself in open space, works himself there. He had a goal in the game as a result of his ability to find that open space and then pot the puck. Patel was really a standout for me. And then number 17 on D was also looking pretty good as well. Jumping up on the offense, not afraid to carry the puck up ice as well. And I will say as well, shout out a goalie here, number 32, Gibbons for Markham. Outstanding goaltender, positionally sound, really athletic, tremendous rebound control as well. It knows when the puck's coming, got the net blocker out, directing the puck where he wants it to go, not letting any glaring rebounds out where someone can pop it in as well. Tremendous goalie for Markham. They got a great goalie tandem there for the Markham Majors. So they're a team to watch this year, and they're going to make some noise at the Silver Stick. So on that note, I will introduce the player from the Markham Majors who we got the chance to talk to for this week's episode. Whose interview we're going to play in a second. Zayne Parekh, defenseman with the Markham Majors. I'll talk about his game, the type of game he had against the Titans once we play the interview, but just a tremendous player. It was such a fun conversation, Ryan. I mean, just talking about his time with the 05 JRC, because he got to play with them a lot. He played up with them last year and the year prior, and just spent so much time with those guys. And just tremendous player, and we're so thankful for him for coming on the pod. And honestly, without further ado, here's the interview with Zayne Parekh. All right, we're now joined on the U16 pod by star defenseman from the Markham Majors U16 AAA program, Zayne Parekh. Zayne, how's it going?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Pumped to have you on. I mean, we remember watching you last year with the JRC 05 prior to your time with the Majors there in all the games they had going on last year. I mean, just can you talk to us about kind of your time with the 05 Junior Canadians, getting to play with those guys, and what you kind of learned from playing with those guys and how that's helped you this year?
Yeah, those guys, they taught me a lot. And playing year up was really huge for my development. We always pushed each other on the ice when we were practicing, and the compete level was super high. We had a really good group for minor midget, so it was really upsetting that we didn't get to get a minor midget year as a group.
Yeah, that was a rough. I mean, watching you guys in kind of the, I guess, exhibition games they'd be considered as, it was killer for us not getting to watch you guys in regular season, because you guys the 05 JRC group, you guys would have been top of the G up there. You guys in the Marlies would have been battling out at the time. But I mean, on the topic,
we had a really good group.
Yeah. I mean, just on the topic too of the 2021 OHL draft class and those 05 boys, you had a unique experience last year at the 2021 draft there. For anyone who isn't aware of what went on, you want to tell everyone kind of what happened and what draft day was like for you?
Yeah, that was probably the highlight of my summer. Probably actually my year. So it was a 2005 draft, and then I was watching, and then in the 13th round, I got drafted by Owen Sound, and obviously I'm not allowed to get drafted because I'm an 06. And I remember I was watching the draft on my computer that day, and I was seeing all my buddies and teammates get drafted, and it was it was an awesome day just for all of those guys. And then around the 11th round, I just stopped watching because I think that's when Mel Casing got drafted, and I'm like, okay, let me just turn this off, go relax, and I'll just follow up after. And then so these guys, Romani and Delvel, they actually just asked me to come play Warzone. So I started playing Warzone with them, and when I actually got drafted, I didn't find out till they started telling me on the mic because they were still watching, and the whole time I thought they were just like screwing with me, just messing around. And then I had to check for myself, so I went on my phone and checked, and then I just started running around and telling my dad and telling my brothers and stuff. So it was really cool. And then I just started getting calls, and then my coach Dave, he called me, and he's like, what kind of BS are you pulling off? So
That's awesome.
So it was a really cool experience for me.
That's got to be one of the all-time best kind of draft day stories in general. I saw you put out the tweet there too afterwards as well. That's priceless. I was just dying of laughter there. I know me and Ryan were killing ourselves that whole time, right, Ryan?
Oh, that was hilarious. Like I had to tweet something about that. I think I quote retweeted you or whatever, but it was pretty funny. And like, yeah, earlier you were mentioning the JRC group, the 05 group you were playing with. That was a really, really close knit group. Like playing with your Markham majors, like you guys are another, like, it seems like you're another really, really close knit group. Like, can you give us some insights into the environment and the culture you guys have at the majors?
Yeah, this year we have a really good group of guys, and we're like really tight. All these guys hang out and stuff, and we're always joking around. We're also really competitive though, and we're always trying to make each other better on the ice. Everyone's working hard, and it's a really good group of guys. But yeah, we're really positive. We have higher energy in the room, and it's a really fun group to be part of this year. Hopefully, we could get something done.
Yeah, no, you guys are like you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. You play together, and like you can tell you guys have that chemistry and you play for each other, right? And I mean, let's get into your game with your skating. Like it's a huge strength of your game, and just the way you're able to like pivot and transition so smoothly. Your edges, like how do you like to use your mobility to your advantage in different situations on the ice?
Especially when I'm coming up the ice with the puck, I love doing the spread eagle, and it really lets me see like the whole ice and see what I'm going up against or something like that. But like, and even the boys, like they always chirp me and just say I'm just doing spread eagles around the whole ice. So that's pretty funny. Also when I'm like walking the blue line, it like opening up my hips, it really helps, and moving laterally, it helps me create space and gives me a lot of deception. And like a few years ago, I was honestly like a terrible skater, but I've been training with Dawn Braid, and she's a really good person, and she's probably one of the best.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Like it's crazy that you weren't a good skater a couple of years ago because
I'm still not very good, but getting better.
And I don't know, like the way you do those, like those spread eagle, like you call it, and then just kind of zip by guys. It's like you're Houdini, like you're not even there. It's awesome to watch, and yeah, like opening up to make passes too, right?
Yeah,
all that's awesome.
I love skating though. Like skating the puck out of the zone, it's really fun.
Yeah,
that's awesome, and it's clear the work's paying off too, because like what I was watching, it's like I love watching those little movements, the smoothness of it, just because I was not the most terrific skater when I played, but watching other guys do it, it's just like it's heaven right there in that regard. But I mean, along with your skating ability, what I've noticed, and I think Ryan's noticed as well, is there's a level of confidence and aggressiveness that you play with in terms of just not being afraid to jump up in the offense or skate the puck up, ice yourself, like you mentioned there, or even on the power play, just being a quarterback out there. Has this confidence always been there for you, or what do you attribute to this aggressiveness on the ice there and this fearlessness?
Yeah, I definitely didn't have this confidence playing with the 05s. Like I always was scared to mistakes. And so I never took chances and try to make big plays or something like that, or even skate the puck up the ice. Because you get a turnover, you come back to the bench, you get yelled at. And but I think I really developed that confidence this year. And last year playing with the O5s in Burlington, that's somewhere where I really gained that confidence. But I really first noticed how much confidence I have when I started playing down with the O6s. The game just slowed down a lot for me, and it was just easier to make plays and skate. And I didn't really have to worry about making mistakes because I have great coaches around me. And
Nice.
they give me a lot of kind of like room to work with. So it's good.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely apparent, like kind of the transition from the O5s down to the O6s here, that you're taking the game kind of, you're taking charge of the game rather, I'd say in that regard. And Ryan would definitely agree with me there that every time we've watched it play so far this season, it's clear that that confidence continues to grow and that aggressiveness continues to grow there, right, Ryan?
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome to see. Like I can't wait to see you in upcoming games. Like the Silver Stick is coming up. I think you guys are going to do really well, and you're a big part of that. In terms of your overall game, like when you're watching the NHL, is there anyone in the show you model your game after?
I know it's like the most obvious answer, but obviously Kel McCarr.
Yeah.
I loved watching his highlights, and I just always go back to them, watch the same video over and over again. And that guy, he's so good, and he skates so well and moves, and his deception's off the charts, and he's so skilled. So it's just awesome to watch him, and I love modeling my game after him.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Like it's like a perfect one for you, and it doesn't surprise me at all that you picked McCarr.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So like to get into a fun one here, what is your favorite TV show or movie?
Honestly, I haven't been watching too many TV shows lately, but when I was, I just started binge watching The Office, and I found it really funny. So that was awesome. And then that took up a lot of my time, especially because most of the time I had to do work, and then I just turned on Netflix and just started watching shows. So,
Hey, that's like me. I'm literally on an Office binge right now, and any chance I get, like I got a bunch of papers due, any chance I get to watch The Office instead of doing a 8-page paper or whatever, I'm going to
yeah,
Netflix instead for The Office. I'm
my
exactly like
my
that.
brothers are so bad like that. Like my other brother, my middle one, he just keeps rewatching the same show over and over again. I'm like, what's wrong with this guy?
What season? How far have you gotten on The Office?
I actually finished it. I finished it in like a month. I was
Jeez.
just binge watching it.
I'm on season. I think I just got on season 4, so
Oh,
I'm a bit slow sometimes. Sometimes I have to stop so I don't
yeah.
so I don't screw up in university sometimes. So I I love that kind of I love that you brought up The Office there. That's been a favorite. It's hilarious. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's Michael Scott's a dummy.
You
It's
know
so
what's
funny.
you know what's so funny about that? I had a job, and the boss was Michael Scott. So that was pretty funny. Like, I mean, I never said anything about it to him, but I don't know, all the coworkers talked about it.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. Anyways, so video games. What are you using? PlayStation or Xbox?
I was actually an Xbox guy before, and me and Simon would always play together because on the JRC team, like we were the only guys on Xbox. So yeah, I switched over to PlayStation and just started stealing my brother's PlayStation and started playing on it with some of my other buddies, and we were just playing like Warzone and stuff during the summer. And summer fun.
is Warzone the go-to game on it then?
Honestly, now we don't play as much, and we started playing the MLB The Show, and we just switch over through a bunch of games.
Do you guys have
Just it's all over the place.
do you guys have on the majors? Do you guys have like a group kind of game that you guys generally play with each other or whatever?
I know those guys love playing Fortnite and like Rocket League, but honestly, I don't play as much because I'm never on it anymore. And I was on it last night. I was just screwing around with some of my other buddies,
Now on the
but
on
I
the
don't know
on
what
the
those guys do.
Now on the '05 JRC, who was the best? Who was the best at the game you guys were playing there?
Malcasian was pretty good. He was pretty sick at that game, and he would like sweat. Like he was definitely the tryhard of the group, but yeah.
It's always the skill guy. It's always that, right?
Yeah.
I think we remember talking to Rakoff or something. He was talking about Caucasian. I think Romani was in the mix there.
Romani, I remember.
For being so good at that game. So
Romani's good at every game though. That guy just like, yeah, he just skilled. Straight skill guy at every game.
Oh, he's one of those guys, eh? Just hops on and is good at it.
And Sima's just brutal. That guy just stinks.
That's funny.
Like, every game we used to play, he was just terrible at.
Oh my God, that's too good. I actually wasn't expecting that because he's such a good player on the ice. So you're like, okay, this kid's like so confident too.
Yeah.
So
Karst isn't very good either.
Is he?
No, not at all. That guy. He struggles.
Wow. Found their kryptonite, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm loving this little insights into those guys and everything here. But I mean, we've taken up a lot of your time so far. So just thank you so much for coming on the U16 pod, Zayne. We really appreciate you taking the time, and just best of luck with Markham the rest of the season. Best of luck at the Silver Stick, and best of luck at the OHL draft this year again.
Thank you so much, guys. This is awesome.
All right, and we're back from our interview with Zayne Parekh from the Markham Majors U16 AAA program. Defenseman there, just so much fun talking to him, like I mentioned there, but just jumping into his game here, Ryan. I mean, the big thing we talked about with him is his mobility and his skating opens up so much for him. And I was surprised, I know you were as well, to hear him say, a few years ago, it wasn't something that he found to be a strength for him. And he really worked with Don Braid to really help improve the aspect of his game. And I think you would agree with me. It's improved.
It's improved. You would have never thought that it was an area that he struggled with, because like in terms of overall skating and mobility and his ability to use his edges and to use his speed and to quickness to kind of like, I don't know, just really, really great feet, really quick feet, very quiet, nimble feet. And he's able to just maneuver so well. He's one of the top players in this draft overall at those aspects of the game. And yeah, like it's hard to believe that he struggled with that before. And last year when he was playing with the JRC, with the 05s, it was tough to notice him a lot because like he mentioned to us, he played it safe for the most part when he was playing up with those guys. Like he didn't want to take too many chances. He didn't want to jump into the offense too much. He just kind of wanted to be like a good player on that really, really good team. Like that JRC team was one of the best teams overall in the 05 age group. But this year with the Markham Majors, he's taking all kinds of chances. He's activating the offense. He's pushing up, going for skates with the puck, like all kinds of stuff. Like his skating shows up in the offensive zone when he's rushing the puck. It shows up even in the neutral zone. Like he'll break up passes in the neutral zone, jumping into and breaking up passes, like breaking up plays before they can get into his zone. And then in his own zone, he's just like his skating, like he's always in position, always able to kind of get to where he needs to be to kind of help out and basically help the defense however they need it, right?
Oh, absolutely. To your point about his skating there, I mean, as I talked about the Titans game that they played earlier, I mean, one play in particular where he was just using that skating and those quick feet, those nimble feet you were talking about on the blue line, just his ability to maneuver and work the offensive line, kind of quarterback from there. He set up a goal where it all began first with him just starting, turning off the blue line, and it just opens up different shooting lanes, passing lanes, whether he wants to put it off the boards or find a crossing pass or to put on net. He has those options because he opens them up with his skating. He hit a pass, missed, it resulted in a shot, and then it was havoc in front, and then ended up working its way back to him where he made another crossing pass, and that one ended up going in eventually. So just the ability to do that, to work on the offensive line there. And then as you talked about there, with the ability with the skating in the D zone, the poise that he presents and the patience that he has. He's cool, calm, and collected. He's not a type of player who when someone's on him, he's gonna just whip it off the glass. No, he takes his time, he'll work him in, and then he'll kind of he talked about that spread eagle, and he'll use that spread eagle to kind of just get himself going a bit more as well and protect the puck as well. And then he talked about seeing the ice as well, how it helps him see the ice, and he sees the ice really well, finds those passes when he's got that space and hits them all the time. So he's got that puck moving really paired with his skating, and he's definitely not afraid to jump on the offense with that regard. And that aggressiveness is something you want to see. It's better than I like seeing that aggressive player who's not afraid to jump up, because you can always maybe with some players there it's maybe easier to kind of pull them back a bit rather than some players you want to push them a bit more. So that aggressiveness is phenomenal with him, especially when he starts in the D zone, to whether it be carry the puck up or pass the puck up, and then he just jumps up on the offense, which is phenomenal too. And he's got a great stick, I think, as well. But just kind of an overall great player with the two-way game he has. But that skating, like we mentioned, it just opens up so much for him, Ryan.
Well, yeah, and his hands are excellent too, right? Yep. Like he's got great skill in his hands and like his stick handling, passing, vision. He sees the game really well, like really, really high hockey IQ on the offensive end and the defensive end. Like so basically with his hands are great and his feet are great. So like he spends a lot of time playing the game with his head up. And I know it's a really small thing, and but like when you notice these guys that don't look down very much, if at all, he's that type of guy. Like he does not look down to kind of like, he doesn't need to like gather himself and figure out where he is and figure out where the puck is and get it on his stick and kind of like cradle it in. Like he's kind of got it, and he does that on the fly. And just with the 10 and 2 edges, that kind of spread eagle mohawk edges, he opens up, closes. Like he's constantly like in a position, like he's constantly got his feet and his hands and the puck in a position for him to wire it at any given time when needed if someone's open, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Honestly, that was just a phenomenal point there you just made. Full credit there to just that point you made about the head up and the hockey IQ and not needing to look down, because that's something that like you mentioned there, it's a small thing, but it's a massive thing. Yeah. Where that split second where your head goes down, or that those few seconds where you're looking down at the puck. Something. Exactly. So I mean, just full credit to you. I mean, just a tremendous player overall. Who I view him as one of the top D in the draft overall, and I think you do as well. So it'll be exciting to see how they progress. He progresses as the year goes on, the development, as well as the team as a whole. I mean, just the group they have there. He talked about the chemistry they have. They're a really tight group as well. And I think they're only scratching the surface of what they can be as well. It's with the season being so early. I mean, that whole Markham team, and I think Parekh, they're all gonna make some noise at the Silver Stick. So we're really looking forward to watching them as a whole there. So once again, I mean, just thanks so much to Zayne for popping on the pod, and kind of a lot of fun talking to him as well, but not hockey stuff as well, right?
Yeah, no, he was fun. He was really fun to talk to. Like he's a very like he's jovial, right? He's got like a great sense of humor and really, really fun kind of kid to talk to. Made me laugh quite a bit when we were having the conversations, but on camera and off camera. But I haven't seen the Markham Majors as much as I'd hoped so far to start this year. So like at the Silver Stick, I've got them like a heavy schedule of Markham Majors planned. So I'm really excited to kind of get to see him more and to dig more into his game. But like I've seen him a lot through the years. Like, I mean, well, I guess not through the years, but with the 05 JRC, and like also at draft day, I saw him quite a bit, and he's just so fun to watch. Like such an electric player, just an absolutely incredible defenseman.
Yeah. So, I mean, tremendous player on the ice and a tremendous kid off the ice. So once again, just look forward to meet him in person, see him at the rink. So just once again, thanks so much to Zayne for popping on the pod, and we'll jump into our next interview here, Ryan, with the next player we got the chance to talk to. A confident kid we got the chance to talk to here, Tyler Graham from the Cambridge Hawks. Really confident player, confident person off the ice as well. Great time getting to talk to him, kind of see his personality, and talk to him about his game as well. So here's the interview with forward Tyler Graham from the Cambridge Hawks.
All right, we're here with Tyler Graham, star forward from the Cambridge Hawks U16 AAA program. Tyler, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
I'm pretty good, thanks. It's fun to have you on the pod. You're one of my favorite players in the draft. And recently, you were a call up to the Air Centennials of the Goj twice. Can you just give us some insight into like that experience and how are those two games for you?
They're really fun. It was a great experience playing with older guys and bigger kids. Usually I'm the biggest, like one of the bigger kids and midget. So, going out there, seeing warm up and all that, it was definitely a great experience. Quicker hockey, bigger kids, and it's really fun. Great group of guys to play with too in Air. So yeah, nothing but good things.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you would fit in just nicely because you're already like a really formidable presence on the ice. You also play with like really, really tremendous speed and power. Like, do you enjoy being a physical presence and kind of taking over the game that way?
Yeah, I played lacrosse a lot growing up as a kid as well. So in the summer, lacrosse is also known as a really physical sport. So I know I can get my aggression out of there, and kind of moved into hockey as well. So I've always kind of been the bigger kid and could always throw my weight around very nicely. So being a physical presence definitely scares some kids, and that's a great way to get a puck out of a corner and put it on net or make a great play. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Connor and I have definitely noticed that part of your game, eh, Connor?
Oh, absolutely. And that intimidation, that presence that you bring on the ice and that intimidation definitely opens up opportunities offensively where we notice your shot release, which is exceptional, comes into play. And you just unleash it so quickly and so accurately. We got a highlight up of your goal of a goal in the Kitchener tournament against Burlington. I mean, the velocity you get on it is great. Just you get it. The velocity is great with it too, and the strength and power on it. How have you developed that shot trigger to be so elite so far?
Yeah, I've always been shooting pucks in the driveway whenever I can. Always had the stick in my hand growing up, and to be honest, through COVID, it was always shooting pucks, working out. So just trying to get the velocity, the accuracy, and kind of everything down on the shot was my main key. Being a big kid, you had to get the shot off pretty quickly. So just whenever I can at the end of practice too, go out there, grab maybe 20 pucks and just quick shots, pick a corner and let her fly. So yeah.
That's great. I mean, that just shows kind of the motor you have on the ice, on and off the ice for that matter. And that's a great segue into our next question, which has to do with your motor, which is a huge strength. I mean, your skating is high end. I mean, what work have you done to develop that motor with each excellent speed and explosiveness that you got there?
Yeah, so I recently started going to Victus, and the gym in there, always working on explosive and stuff like that. So the workouts through COVID as well too, helped me a lot, kind of get that explosive speed and power with my stride and kind of my side to side movements. And then just being a big body and getting around, lacrosse also helped me with that too. So.
Wow, that's just seeing the translation there from off ice rather, work there, and then as well as the other sports as well translating. I think that's a big thing, especially being a multi-sport athlete. I know that's a big thing. A lot of OHL teams especially look for as well, Ryan. I think.
Yeah, it really helps me out. So can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I love that stuff with the lacrosse and how much influence it has over your hockey. And it shows by the way you play. Like you're just so tough out there. Really, really hard to play against. So we talked a lot about your game, but if you had 3 words to describe your game, what would they be and why?
Probably playmaking. Definitely try to get that into my game a little bit more. I kind of keep my head up, use my IQ that I have, and just kind of look for the open guys, even if it's making a pass, blocking a shot, making a hit to make a play, being versatile. So whenever you need to do, you got to do. And definitely my shot too. So. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like playmaking. The game I was at the Kitchener Blue Line, you set up like, I think you had a couple 2-on-1s and you passed on both of them, and they're pretty much perfect passes. And you set up one from behind the net. So, I mean, you do that, you're versatile. And then that shot, like, yeah, like it's such a great shot. It's like so powerful, and you do get off very quick. So it's clear you work on that a lot. Are there any players in the NHL you model your game after?
I wouldn't say there's one player that I model the game after. I kind of take bits and pieces out of many guys. Obviously, Alex Ovechkin with his shot, it's unreal, very powerful. He's still got the accuracy on it with how powerful it is too. So I definitely look at him with his shot. Nathan McKinnon and Crosby with their speed, agility, edge work, and stuff like that. So I definitely look at their skating and watching hockey games with my family. You definitely pick out those top players on the ice and definitely watch what they're doing, even positional play too. And then I'd have to go with Nikita Kucherov with his quick release, his playmaking ability, the way he can see the ice. It's definitely really, really cool to watch. And even going to live games too, you can definitely see what he's trying to do, and you don't really know what he's going to do like when he has the puck. So it's kind of a guess, but he already knows what he's doing. So.
Oh, that's an awesome answer. The players you mentioned are all great, and Cooch, Connor, we had that one yet? I don't know if we've had that one yet. That's a great one. Like, he's so deceptive, and that's a big part of your game too.
And have you had the chance to get out to a bunch of like live games with Cooch or Ovi or any of those kind of guys?
No, I haven't yet, but my dad has, and he said his shot and Kucherov was just unreal. I was watching on the TV when he was there, but just following those guys, and Kucherov is just an unreal player. I don't really think he gets the hype of how good he is. So he's definitely a very, very great deceptive player. So yeah.
Well, you're completely correct with how underrated he is as well. There, I mean, Tampa keeps playing with that LTIR stuff with the cap, so not too many people are happy about that. But I mean, another thing a lot of those guys have in common, in some sense of the word, is kind of they all got little superstitions and all that. Would you say maybe you're a superstitious player at all, or are there any pregame routines that are a must for you?
I wouldn't say there's any like specific pregame rituals or anything like that, or superstitions, but I definitely try to get a good carb meal before the day before a game, and then just tape a stick every single time I go on the ice, even if it's a practice, game, anything. I always have to tape my stick before I go on the ice. It has to be a fresh tape job, and I just feel good with the puck, feel strong with the puck, and my hands feel good. So you got to get that before the game.
That's nice. It's just the preparation there is always important, especially feel good, play good type thing as well there.
Yeah.
And then I know you've mentioned you played lacrosse as well, but what activities do you enjoy that help get your mind maybe off hockey, away from the rink there?
Definitely fishing. Fishing's been a big thing. Going up to cottages with buddies and stuff like that, getting on a kayak, getting on a boat or whatever, and just fishing. It's kind of a calm, quiet thing. You get to see nature, you get to be outside, and it just kind of gets your mind right off everything. So yeah, it's definitely a fun thing to do.
You got any favorite spots that you've been so far?
Definitely up Muskoka area, Lake of Bays, just kind of pond hopping, just trying to see new things and try and figure stuff out. So
yeah, Muskoka is definitely a really good place. My cottage is up there, and everyone's always fishing on the lake there, so that's always a pretty good place to go fishing there as well. And then a last one for you here, kind of something away from kind of sports and all that. What would be your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, my biggest pet peeve. Oh, I'd have to say, those chalkboards, someone dragging their nails across the chalkboard.
Oh, I hate that.
I absolutely hate it. And it just, I can't. It's got to be one of the worst sounds.
Even like when people are almost done eating and then they're scraping their plate, it's kind of like thing. It just kills me.
I
can't. The same way, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. It's the worst sound in the world.
Yeah.
It's that screeching noise that's just consistently terrible.
Yeah.
I remember in school every time that even when the teacher would grab like a chalk and like run it off an angle or something, it screeched. I'd be like, "Oh my god, just
Yeah,
stop that,
even
please."
that sounds like some sort of dog whistle. And just no, it's one of the worst sounds in the world for me. So I definitely say that's my worst pet peeve.
Yeah, we're definitely in the same boat with you on that pet peeve there. So, um, listen, Tyler, we really appreciate you taking the time to come on the pod, talk with us. Just best of luck with the rest of the season with Cambridge, and best of luck at the OHL draft as well. Thanks for coming on the pod.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And we're back from an interview with forward Tyler Graham from the U16 Cambridge Hawks AAA program. And my goodness, he's just on the Cambridge Hawks. He's got to be. He's whenever I've seen him, and I'm sure whenever you've seen him, he's a play driver for that team, Ryan. And just he's kind of a prototypical, almost like I'd almost describe him as a prototypical power forward who's also got that skill and finesse in his game as well, Ryan.
Oh, he's unbelievable. I fell in love with his game watching Prodigy Black in the summer. He was on that team with I love the Prodigy teams. Jay DeGennaro does such great work with those Prodigy teams, but he was on that Prodigy Black team, and man, he's just a beast. Like the combination of power, size and speed and strength and like whatever else you want to say, like he's just unbelievable, great player to watch. Like the big thing about him is that shot. He can rip that shot. Great velocity on it. Excellent firecracker release. Like he really just kind of gets it off quick and gets it off hard and gets a lot of goals. Like I've seen him score a lot of goals in the last, I don't know, 2-3 months. It's just like he just keeps filling the net, right? It's unbelievable.
Oh, and to your point with that shot, he moves himself into spots where he can use the shot too, where he just uses his skating and he moves into open space. And that's the big thing with goal scorers is you want to see them, for a kid who's got a great shot and got that goal scoring and finishing ability, you want to see them put themselves in positions where they can utilize it. Because if you're not in a good spot, what good is it in the end? And he's a player who consistently puts himself in the spots, whether it's him with the puck moving into a spot where he can just let that shot go, or without the puck where he's just moving in open space and where he can take a pass. And it's a small space. The great players find that small space and they utilize a quick shot because that small space, you don't got much time. And when he's got the puck on his stick, it's off just like that. So to your point, just that goal scoring ability is incredible there. But he's also sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no, like he's always in the slot shooting, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, just you look at him then moving on from the goal scoring ability, he can set up his teammates too. He's got kind of that playmaking ability that maybe actually be a bit underrated because he's got that finishing ability that we know so well. I mean, you sent me some highlights and he was finding his teammates in the Kitchener blue line with that playmaking ability, which is a big part of his game to kind of show a different aspect of his game, I think.
Yeah, like in that game that I saw, he had 3 2-on-1s and he passed on all 3 right on the tape. Firm, crisp passes set up like unfortunately they didn't get turned into goals. But I mean, I was looking at it like I was just like, wow, like he could have easily shot there. So there's an element to his game where he's like a good teammate, like an unselfish player. He's not going to always be thinking about himself and shoot in all those situations where he can. Like with his shot and his abilities, like I would have liked to see him shoot those, but at the same time, as a scout, you got to love that. Looking at him as a teammate, he's the captain of his team. He's a leader of his team, right? Making those passes, playing as a team, using his teammates, all that stuff. It really shows. Like, and he's a good kid overall. Like he's got a great character. Like just meeting him, it was really interesting. Like it's hard to believe that he's like 15, 16 years old. Like he came across as so mature, so much older, and it just really showed. It shows in his game that like overall like the maturity.
Yeah, and I mean to your point there with just the characters we talked about off the ice. I mean, as we were talking, we talked to him about his he got the chance to appear in the Go JHL in a couple games with AR Centennials, and we talked to him and he was talking about kind of just they didn't have the greatest success. The team, they lost a couple games and they weren't close. But what stood out to me was the fact that he highlighted the experience, how he got to get in the games. They're a great group there at Air with the junior B team. They really welcomed him in, but they also he got to experience that kind of faster pace play with what it's like to play at kind of a next level beyond U16 AAA, and to have that perspective where some players, when they maybe might be a call up and they won't win the game, and it's like, oh, we lost the game. He takes a different perspective where it's an opportunity to grow, and that's something that really stood out to me, which was, like you mentioned, the maturity. It's just mature beyond his years, which I think, and I think you would agree, OHL teams will love about him. So
yeah, and the maturity between his ears is good, and then it's also with his body too. Like, he's a big kid. He really protects the puck well. That's a big strength of his. Just his ability to fend guys off and keep them on his back, and it's unbelievable to watch. Like, he's really, really strong, and he dominates out there. Like, let's face it, hockey's a physical game, and he plays physical. He throws huge hits. Loves to play the body. Finishes his checks. He plays the game the right way. Like, he's a true throwback. You know me, I love hitting. Like, I'm an '83, so I'm older. Like, I'm from like the era. Like, you should have seen hockey when I was growing up. It was all hitting, but like, he hits. Like, he hits hard too, and it hurts. Like, it hurts watching guys get hit by him. He's kind of similar to like Hunter McKenzie, who we've had on the pod. Just like really, really hard hitter, really good at protecting the puck, like hard shot, hard passes. He's already playing the game with like speed and strength, like the next level. Like, he's gonna kind of transition to that next level seamlessly. I think he's gonna be really fun to watch in the OHL next year. I think you can take that one to the bank that he's gonna be there. Really, really fun player overall, and just act like unbelievable. Like, I could go on and on about this player forever, but that size, speed, strength, like ability to get to the right spots, ability to get to the scoring areas, like you mentioned, that was such a great point, because that's something he does so well. And just finish, right?
yeah,
Get his goals.
he's just got all the tools, and it'll be phenomenal to watch as the year progresses and watch that Cambridge team play with him at the helm there. So I mean, I don't think I could play. I don't think I could top all the stuff you just said there with respect to the physicality. So honestly, just thanks so much to Tyler for joining us on the episode on the pod here, because it was phenomenal getting to talk to him and get the insight into his game on the ice, but get to hear him off the get to know him off the ice as well. So just once again, a massive thank you to him for joining us on the pod. With that being said, we'll jump into our last interview. The player we got the chance to talk to, the tournament MVP of the Kitchener Blue Line tournament, Kaleb Papineau, goaltender from the North Bay Trappers U16 AAA team. Phenomenal goalie. So I'll stop talking, and here's the interview with Kaleb Papineau, goaltender from the North Bay Trappers.
All right, we're here with Kaleb Papineau, star goalie from the North Bay Trappers U16 AAA program. Kaleb, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. It's nice to have you on the pod. You had a huge tournament, like at the Kitchener Blue Line tournament recently, and you're a top goalie prospect overall for the 2022 draft. At that recent tournament, you actually got tourney MVP, and your team won the tourney. So, like, how does it feel just to kind of take down that tournament with your squad?
It was good. We played well all weekend, and honestly, it was just a team effort. I just tried to play my best, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, no, like, you were unbelievable. Some of the saves you made, like quick reactionary saves, and it was awesome to watch it. Like, what inspired you or drew you to want to become a goalie?
My dad, definitely my dad. He's been teaching me since I was a kid, and he was also a goalie too, so he helped me a lot.
Nice. Yeah, no, that must be good to kind of bond over that. Do you guys have lots of, talks after games and all that about?
Yeah. He tells me if I have like a bad game or something. He just tells me, helps me all the pointers, and he tells me what to do. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you probably can take on like a like fresher perspective for you considering
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's cool.
No, that's great. That's an awesome perspective, especially having someone in your corner like your dad there
Yeah.
who's played the position as well. So that's great to hear there. But I mean,
Yeah.
goalies tend to have this reputation sometimes for doing things a bit differently than other players. Generally, they may have different mental or physical routines or even superstitions. Would
Yeah.
you say you're superstitious at all, or are there any pregame routines for you as a goalie that are like a must?
Normally I just arrive to the rink with my music all pumped up, and I like to put my right stuff on first. But if I have like a bad game or something, I switch my pads, or that's about it really. I like to throw the ball on the wall. That's something I do before every game. I like to activate the reflexes, and that's about it really.
Nice. Nice and simple. Are you a goalie who likes to hang out with the guys or kind of go off on your own kind of type thing?
Yeah, I like to be around with the guys, but as soon as like maybe 20 minutes before the game, I like to just get in the zone and think about the game
Nice.
alone.
Nice. Just getting that zone right before the
Yeah.
game there, which is good. And
Yeah.
then I mean, jumping into your game here, I mean, just if you had 3 words to describe your strengths as a goalie, kind of what would those 3 words you would use be and why?
I think I'm pretty aggressive. I like to play the puck. I'm also really vocal on the ice. I like to talk to my defense and let them know who's coming and how much time they got and stuff.
Nice. I like that communication word especially as well there. I think that's an underrated part of a lot of goalies games. Those
Yeah.
goalies who can communicate with their defensemen or their forwards as well. Because I know when I played younger as a defenseman, it's not exactly fun when you're skating back there and you have no idea what's happening.
Yeah,
You have to
exactly.
constantly do those shoulder checks and all that. So having a goalie who can communicate like that, I know Ryan, you agree with me there. That's huge.
Oh yeah, it's like huge. And I love the part about you saying you're aggressive because I noticed that a lot watching you play, especially with the way you play the puck. Like you come out really far, you know, like you literally do clearances for your team on the PK sometimes. Like were you always like that or did you just develop that like over time?
I wasn't really always like that. I mostly didn't really play the puck, but I started like maybe last year, and I like it a lot now. It helps the defense, and yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like you look really confident doing it. And I mean it definitely helps the defense. Like it alleviates the pressure so well and you're really effective at doing it. So I'd stick with it. Um yeah. Is there a goalie in the NHL right now you model your game after?
Ooh, probably not really, but I can say who my favorite goalie is. Like
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
like Andrei Vasilevsky with Tampa.
Yeah. That's a good one.
My favorites, yeah.
That's a great pick. Vazzy's like dirty. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you think he's the best goalie in the world, like easily right now?
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah.
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think so too. He's like unbelievable. So
Yeah, it is.
that's a great answer. All right, another one. That's kind of an interesting one. Who would be the scariest player in the NHL right now? If like someone was coming down on you on a shootout attempt, who would be the scariest guy in the NHL right now to face?
Definitely Connor McDavid. I think.
I like that answer. I like that. I'm a big McDavid fan. So
Are you?
Well, like especially with all the highlights he's been putting up lately, like
Yeah,
unbelievable, right?
he's really good.
I mean, he just stuck another highlight up against the Jets. So it's like, how many highlights? Like this dude's is a human highlight reel out there. So it's
Yeah,
not.
he is.
So it's I would not. I would be scared if I was if I was a goalie as well. So that's that in and of itself. But then I mean, just going into some lighter stuff here. You talked about kind of your pregame rituals a bit earlier, but if you could only kind of similar to that, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Like before a game.
If it were to be, let's do what would be your pregame meal before the game, and then give us a meal like not your pregame meal that you would eat.
Just a meal.
Yeah.
Okay, so pregame meal, definitely pasta, like fettuccine alfredo with chicken or something.
Nice.
I think that's, yeah, and just a meal in general, definitely. I'm a big pizza guy. I like pizza. So,
Nice.
yeah,
What are the go-to toppings there?
just pepperoni and cheese. I like it simple.
Nice. Nice and simple there. And then the
You
last.
you ever
Sorry, go ahead.
do you allow pineapple on pizza? Is that okay?
No,
No.
I don't like that.
Okay, we got a no on the pineapple pizza. That's we've entered the debate there. Ryan, are you a pineapple on pizza person?
Not really.
I think it's pretty weird, but
I was at OJHL showcase event, and my boss got me a pizza, and it was a pineapple pizza, and I ate it, but like yeah,
Under protest?
it was free pizza, so you can't argue, right?
yeah, that's true.
That's funny. We've entered the pineapple debate there. So, but last one for you. Pizza, pineapple, unrelated here. If you could swap places with any celebrity or athlete for 24 hours, who would you want to swap places with?
Any athlete?
Any athlete.
Probably Andrei Vasilevsky.
Oh, yeah. Have 2 cups on your resume. That's not not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, that the ring would be the hand would be a bit heavy with the couple rings he's got. So
Yeah.
not a bad pick there. Having Vaz's favorite goalie and trying to get in his shoes for a day there, in that respect. So, but just awesome getting to talk to you, Kaleb. We really appreciate you taking the time, coming on the pod. Just once again, congrats on a phenomenal tournament in Kitchener there, and just best of luck the rest of the season with North Bay, and best of luck at the OHL draft.
Thank you.
And we're back from the interview with goaltender Kaleb Papineau from the North Bay Trappers U16 AAA program. And when we got the chance to talk to him, Ryan, we were talking to him after he came off that big tourney MVP and that big tournament win in Kitchener there. I mean, just it was great getting to talk to him. I mean, he's a phenomenal goaltender. Looking at his stats specifically from the tournament, he had less than less than 1 goals against average in Kitchener there. So big time performance there for him. Well-deserved tournament MVP. And I mean, you were telling me about how phenomenal he was throughout the tournament. I mean, Kitchener there. So honestly, I'll give you the floor here to give some of your thoughts on Kaleb here.
Yeah, no, he was unbelievable at the Kitchener blue line. Like, he's a really, really strong goalie. And oh man, like at the blue line, I caught his game against the Kitchener Junior Rangers, and there were so many things that I noticed that I liked. The one big one that really, really stood out to me was there was a shot that kind of came through from the point, a really, really hard shot, and it got deflected about 4 feet the opposite way and up. And like that deflection happened around the slot area. And he was able to, I mean, make a really, really quick adjustment and then get like his body in the way to make a save. And that was really noticeable. Like just the ability to like follow the changes in movement of the puck. And there was another one that I noticed where like another one got tipped and he was able to kind of get his pad down really quick and make a stop. So with those changes of direction, like he's following the puck, he keeps his eye on the puck. I find it's like a big thing, like obviously for goalies to be able to see the puck, to find the puck. When it changes direction, are you able to find it, or do you lose it and it goes in the net, right? A lot of times you see like a tip happen and then the goalie makes a lucky save where like they just happen to be in the right spot and they have a part of their body that's there to make the save. Like he had to fully move like his whole body to make these saves. And I found that really noticeable. But just in general with his game, like he's got great lateral movement, side to side, really, really fast, super athletic, like able to kind of make himself. I mean, he gets himself into position. He makes himself big in the net and gets himself into position to make saves. One thing that's really, really key about his game is he's extremely aggressive playing the puck. Whether it be like behind his net, he'll skate out like and kind of like shoot it away or whatever it might be, like extremely, extremely aggressive. And he takes a lot of chances playing the puck. And like these chances, these risks that he's taking, they tend to always pay off. And like, if I was watching him, like overall, like I would say like, even if like every once in a while something happens where like he made a bad kind of like he kind of took a risk that he shouldn't have taken, and the puck ends up in the back of his net, the amount of times that he does it and does it successfully, it kind of like pays for like a screw up every once in a while. Not that I've ever seen him have a screw up, but like with the aggressive play, like eventually it's going to bite you here and there, but it doesn't seem to get him. Like he seemed to be like able to kind of, I don't know, like get away with these plays and be really aggressive playing the puck.
It's like a Mike Smith type thing with Edmonton there, where I've
Right.
heard watching Hockey Night in Canada and all that. They talk about, I think it was Brian Burke a couple of years ago, or before he got the Pittsburgh Penguins job. He talked about, Mike Smith. They kind of, when he, with his aggressiveness, like you mentioned, kind of the similarity there. If he does make a mistake, you live with it because of everything. The good outweighs the bad in that sense of the word, which I think is incredibly important there. Because ultimately, every goalie is going to make a mistake. It's just a matter of, hey, you make the mistake, okay, move on to the next play, next face off, next whatever it is, move on to the next play, and just put that one out of your head.
Yeah, and even just passing it up ice to his teammates and whatnot, like a lot of times goalies don't get credit for assists, but by the end of the year, like I would say that he's probably going to have about like at least 5 assists, which is a lot for a goalie. Just consider like just how he plays and the way he plays and how aggressive he is playing the puck. So really watch out for that. Like if you get a chance to see Papineau play, it's a treat watching him play the puck. Like I don't know if I've seen a goalie that plays the puck this well, like in this draft class yet. Just that aspect of his game, it's so high end and really fun to watch. And yeah, like he's just so athletic. 6'3", big body. He makes himself huge in the net. I love his style, the way he plays. Like aggressive in terms of like cutting down the angles, and then athletic. Like he's able to kind of like go side to side, make quick reactionary saves, and great glove. His glove, like he always seems to find the puck when it goes to that glove side and make those glove stops. It's awesome.
Oh, I mean, you showed me, you sent me some highlights a bit ago as well with Papineau.
Yeah.
Just the glove hand he has, the tracking. I mean, you mentioned the athleticism. I don't think I could say much better myself, honestly, but just we're going to put those highlights up soon. They'll probably on social media, especially. And honestly, it just the overall game that he has complete. He's really complete as a goalie. He's got the size as well that I think a lot of people love in goaltenders, especially. So just a phenomenal goaltender. It's clear off the ice as well. He's got that cool, calm, collected composure as well. So it's just overall just tremendous to have him on the pod. Getting to know his game from him personally on the ice, and then getting some insight into him off the ice, getting to know him off the ice as well. So honestly, just can't thank Kaleb enough for taking the time. North Bay's got a tremendous goalie up there for playing for them. So they're looking to have some great success in the Great North Midget League. And too bad they're not at the Silver Stick, to be honest. They'd be a team we'd be looking out for at the Silver Stick.
Yeah, no, it's too bad. Like, but Papineau, I mean, North Bay, they took down that Kitchener Blue Line tournament, and Papineau was the MVP. And to win those tournaments, you need good goaltending, right? Like he's a absolute. He's just a brick wall.
Beast in the crease. A beast in the crease.
Unreal. Yeah. So you need that kind of goaltending to win those tournaments, right?
Oh, absolutely. So on that note, just again, massive thank you to Kaleb for coming on the pod. We really appreciate him taking the time. And with that being said, honestly, just we're prepping for next week's episode. With the Silver Stick coming up, it'll be we'll probably release next week's episode a bit later. It'll probably be lots of prepping going on. We're gonna have some more interviews, lots to cover from the Silver Stick. We'll be there essentially all weekend. I know I'll be there specifically, especially Friday, Saturday. I know you'll be there all weekend, Ryan. So we're gonna bring a big episode for the next one with the Silver Stick. So just once again, stay tuned for that one. We look forward to seeing everyone at the Silver Stick, one of the biggest tournaments of the year. I'm in Whitby there. Looking forward to freezing our butts off, like we mentioned at the start there. But just once again, as we wrap up here, thanks so much to Kaleb. Thanks so much to Tyler and Zayne for popping on the pod, taking the time to talk with us. We really appreciate you guys taking the time. And like I usually do, we'll wrap up with our social medias here, where you can follow us and all that fun stuff. So if you're looking to follow the pod on social media, you can follow us on Instagram or Twitter at the U16pod. You can also message us if you have any inquiries, respectful inquiries. Feel free to email the pod, especially email please. Email any comments, email them. The Instagram's kind of, if you want to send video, if you can send video through the Instagram as well, on through the messages on there. We do our best to try to keep up with the Instagram, but feel free to email the u16pod@gmail.com as well. If you're looking to follow Ryan or myself individually, you can follow us Instagram or Twitter at cwilliams_384. You can also follow Ryan at Ryan P. MacArthur. But be sure to check us out on YouTube or whatever podcast platform you listen to. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on the YouTube, and don't forget to hit that download and like button on the whatever podcast platform you listen to. So on that note, Ryan, thanks so much to our listeners and audience for tuning to this episode of U16 Pod. We'll see you after the Silver Stick.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.